Welcome to another episode of Founders Club. Today I'm going to be interviewing a very special guest. We're going to have Grant Cardone on to give his predictions about the upcoming real estate market. We're also going to be talking about how he's pivoting his business and the biggest opportunities he sees in the next 12 to 24 months. We're also going to be diving into some really tactical strategies that you can use right now to grow your business. And we're also going to be asking about the famous Grant Cardone bankruptcy hoax and if he would do anything different this next time around. Looking forward to an amazing interview. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you like what you see, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the inside. Good morning, everyone. We are live with Uncle G, Grant Cardone in the house. We're shooting this special episode of Founders Club in the Real Closers Facebook group. And just want to give a warm welcome to the man himself. What's up, Grant Cardone?
Brother, thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So I want to talk about all things real estate. I know that you're a very busy guy, so I want to keep this high impact. And right now, I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the market and a lot of fear and whatnot. And one of your favorite quotes from Be Obsessed or Be Average is approach every situation with a whatever it takes mindset. So how can we apply that right now to our real estate businesses?
So look, if you're, first of all, thank you guys for having me here and being open to learning new things and maybe adding something to whatever you're already doing. I have always been a searcher of how to be better so that I can take care of my family and maybe with a little bit of luck and enough time, make my dreams come true. I started out not knowing what to do and I didn't have any connections, whether it's been my real estate business, my speaking business, writing books, doing educational programs or consulting Fortune 500 companies. Every one of those things I started out not knowing what to do. So you have to have this, okay, whatever it takes. You got to know that you can win and you got to be willing to do whatever it takes to win. And whatever it takes doesn't mean everybody, you guys, hit DM me on Instagram, say, hey man, I'll do whatever it takes. Then I'll know you watch this. Whatever it takes, like you hear that line in movies and TV shows almost every day, but most people will not do whatever it takes.
So right now, like,
let me just say this. When I say whatever it takes, dude, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to buy a house. I'm going to rent right now so I can be closer to the action. I'm not going to date right now. Maybe if you're a young person, you're 23 years old, you're like, dude, I'm not going to date. I'm going to become the best real estate agent in Beverly Hills. Then I'm going to date. I'm not going to spend money on shoes. I'm going to spend money on my business. Whatever it takes. I'm going to get rid of my dog. Like this is the kind of stuff that people need to think about, not the pretty stuff they see on Instagram. Whatever it takes is ugly. It means you have to bypass emotions. I spent 250 days 1 year on the road without coming home to build my first business.
Wow.
It was
That's
terrible.
Definitely whatever it takes.
It was terrible, bro. No girlfriends. No dating, no community. No, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, but I would recommend that you guys lean more in that side of building that thing that no one can ever take away from you. Because no one can ever take that away from me. No economy, no bank. I can file bankruptcy, but you can never take that I know that about me. So go ahead, man.
Yeah. So I love the whatever it takes mentality. And I think that right now, real estate agents, they have a lot of just hesitation to reach out to people, to contact people, to be in the game, to keep pushing forward. And I know that, you're a master of sales. So like, what could you give us in terms of, how we can continue to sell and prospect and grow, right now?
Well, look, you have such an opportunity right now because there's going to be a housing crash in America. I mean, if you want a headliner, housing crash. Grant Cardone discusses housing crash in America. We are having one right now. That doesn't mean, by the way, that you can't make money in a housing crash. We have actually been having this move away from ownership to rental for a long time. It's not a new thing. And before all the real estate agents start hating on me for saying this, I'd also tell everybody that I will go on every day and tell people you shouldn't buy a house. See, I know that people shouldn't buy a house. They shouldn't buy Patek watches either. They shouldn't buy cars. I have $500,000 worth of cars outside sitting out here. You shouldn't buy an office building. You should rent where you office. But I own this office building. Just because I say that to people, one, there's going to be a crash. We're in it now. And number two, you shouldn't buy a house. Doesn't mean 59% of the people are going to still own a home. You cannot talk people out. You shouldn't do drugs while the guy's putting a needle in his arm. It doesn't matter what you tell him. They have warning signs when you go into the casinos in Vegas, right? So what? People are going to still go in. Me telling people not to buy a house isn't going to keep anybody from buying a house. And me telling you that we're going to go through a housing crash doesn't mean you can't make money. It means you need to prepare for what happens when there's a crash. And the first thing that happens with the crash is you have to change the way you communicate to buyers and sellers. Okay, because the buyer is looking to buy at the bottom. That's why he's interested in buying now. He wasn't in the market 4 months ago, now he is, because he's a bottom feeder. He's extremely difficult to deal with. He's unreasonable. His expectations are stupid. He typically ends up getting left behind in great opportunities. Okay, he misses great deals because he's looking for another $10. And then you got the seller up here that had the expectations. I have a friend that was selling their house in January this year for $9 million. It fell apart. It fell apart in March.
Wow.
She's going to have to reset her expectations, or she's going to have to find a great real estate broker that says, look, let's sell it for 7. You're going to lose 2 million. Let's go buy something for 20 and you're going to make 10. And because she's a speculator, she likes to buy and sell stuff and fix stuff. So, but the real estate broker can't just show homes now. You have to use logic and math to get people interested in being buyers or sellers.
Oh, I like that thought. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So look, you already have in the first 6 weeks of this crash, of this economic, I don't even want to mention the Wuhan, because this is way worse than Wuhan. This is worse. I'm going to tell you, everybody, right now. You can do whatever you want with it, but the economic impact of this event is going to be worse than 1 million people dying.
Big prediction.
You're going to have 1.5 billion people in the world out of work because of this event.
And do you think that's going to be temporary, or do you see that being a longer term challenge?
Well, let's just talk about it. Okay. Number one, we're going to have maybe 200,000 people die in the United States. I think we're at 85,000 right now. Let's say if it goes to 200,000, let's say if it goes to 300,000, 600,000 people last year died of cancer and heart disease. By the way, that happens every year. We didn't shut the economy down because of it.
Right.
Okay. This thing that's going on right now is beyond, it is fabricated. Okay. Now, you probably weren't at closing last year if you listed enough homes where the seller died or the buyer died. It killed your deal. How do you put the deal back together? You probably put it back together with somebody else. You need a full pipeline. Okay. So the answer to all problems is a full pipeline. Your pipeline just got squeezed. Okay, you had a pipeline of people. Let's say you had 100 people, buyers and sellers in that pipeline. 40% of those sellers are saying, no, I'm not going to sell now. That 38% of the homes are being removed from the marketplace right now because sellers are like, I'll never get my number now, so they take it off. That doesn't mean they're not still in your pipeline. And it doesn't mean they're not still sellers, by the way. If they were a seller in February, they're still a seller today.
Great distinction.
Yeah, now your pipeline had buyers and sellers in it. Airbnb wasn't in your pipeline in February and March. They are now. Every Airbnb punk in the world is a seller today. Because they were going to be Airbnb millionaires. I'm a real estate investor. They know I'm going to be the best in the world. And I do. Now they don't have a tenant. Those are going back to foreclosures and banks. In your pipeline, you need to be adding Airbnb, and you also need to be adding banking relationships, foreclosures and distressed properties. You got to go develop those relationships. Some of the top real estate agents in the country are so busy with deals, they don't have the time to do this. So this would be the opportunity for a young investor. And you got to be able to do 2 and 3 and 4 things at one time and stay focused on what you're doing. So you can't do that, by the way, if the 2 or 3 other things that you're doing have a dog involved. My wife just went and got 2 kittens and brought them to the house. I'm like, duh, you didn't do it. You didn't do it, did you? And she's like, yeah, I did it. And I'm like, in 2008, when the economy crashed, we had 2 Great Danes, 2 Chocolate Labs, and a parrot. We got rid of them because I could not manage the activities, bro. Like I have to be focused until you get super successful, until you get rich, until you get into affluence and prosperity. You need to be like focused.
I love that.
And so right now, the top brokers, if they have a full pipeline and they're making Joyce Ray in Beverly Hills, she makes a lot of money every year working her pipeline. She doesn't have time to move to the Airbnb and to the distress and to the foreclosed. It'll probably come to her because nobody else went and secured that business. So again, I started this by saying there's going to be a housing crash in America because with every reaction, with every, what's it called? What's that old thing? With every action, there's a reaction, right? Every
equal or opposite reaction.
Exactly. For every, whatever that is. Say it again, man. You're good at
that. For every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction.
So when I say there's a crash.
Don't quote me on that, though.
But it sounds great. For every crash or for every upbound, there's some opposite reaction. But you got to change. One, this is a mental game. It was a mental game before Corona. It's even more mental now.
Yes.
This idea that I can be successful, dude, it's completely fabricated. I should not be successful. I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, single mother, 5 kids, no money, clipping coupons. I shouldn't be one of the Forbes called me one of the most influential people to follow on social media. I got out of college, couldn't get a job, sold cars, okay, because nobody showed me real estate. I have almost $2 billion worth of real estate today. I remember when I couldn't make a payment on an apartment and it was $275 a month.
It's amazing.
So again, it's the mental game, but it's not just the mental game. You got to have strategy. 2 and 3, you got to have a vehicle that's big enough to win, because you can do the first 2. You can have the right attitude and you can have the right strategy, but if you don't have a vehicle that can propel you to Mars, you're not going to get there no matter how much you think about Mars or how much you draw spaceships. I need the vehicle that can carry me there. Real estate's a freaking phenomenal vehicle.
Yeah, amen to that. I love what you're saying. I think the mental piece is a huge part of it. But I do want to focus on what you said about basically there being a real estate crash. And I want to just talk about what that looks like in your mind, like right now and maybe like a year from now, and then like in the future. What do you see happening?
Well, we're at the beginning of, you're seeing the immediate. I don't need an economist to tell me what's happening right now. 38% of listings have been removed from the marketplace. You have the lowest interest rates in the history of the United States of America, yet mortgage applications have not really spiked. Like you get little temporary bit bleeps. I had a bunch of information on the housing market yesterday, but what does that? What does all that say? Why are 38% of inventories are short? We don't have the inventory. You got plenty. You got homes all over the place. There's not a city in America that doesn't have a home for sale. Yeah. Like if I need a place to stay in America, I don't need to go buy something. I can call somebody up. You got an extra room? We got empty bedrooms all over America. Okay, but that's not the issue. The issue is, do I want to still live in this house? See, the funny thing about a house is you can't convince somebody not to buy the house they fall in love with, and they know when they buy it. As much as they try to tell themselves they're going to live there for 30 years, they know they're not. They're buying it.
I think what else is interesting about right now too is people are home so much that they're, maybe they live in a high-rise condo and they don't want to live around people anymore.
100%.
Their house is now too small or their house is now too big.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, 100%. And then also, right after 9/11, what happened after 9/11 was you had a housing boom in this country. The economists say it was because interest rates went down, but the truth is, it was because people were scared. And when people are scared, they introvert. And the best way to introvert is what? I want a nice place to live. You don't say, when you're introverted and scared, you go home. You don't go to your car. Okay? People didn't go out and buy cars after 9/11. They went and bought homes. They went into debt because they're like, if I'm going to die, in this case, if I'm going to get hit by terrorists, or in the case of Corona, if I'm going to get sick, well, I could just be at home and I could be protected there with just the family. So I think that one thing that is really going to, make homes, particularly suburban homes, do well in this cycle is that people want space and they want to be protected. I live in a condo. That would not be my preference today. Condos, anything with an elevator just took a whack.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we're seeing the same thing here in San Diego. We're seeing a lot of people kind of not as excited about the downtown living and kind of looking more at, like you said, bigger space, bigger yard, some space to just get outside, get some fresh air and do that whole thing.
Yeah. And they're going to be willing to pay for that. But let's say the guy lives downtown San Diego right now and he wants to move out to Rancho. Well, you know what? Hey, dude, this is the perfect time, bro. You're going to take a $30,000, $40,000 hit on your place. Okay. Let's say the place was $600,000. February, you thought it was worth 600. You removed it from the market. I made a phone call. Hey, bro, I'm going to show you how to get your full 600 and make $2 million. Do I have your attention? Go on. Good. I'm going to be over to your place. I know what number you're in. I'm going to meet you at your place today. I'm bringing a mask and gloves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I go over there and I sit down with a piece of paper and a pen. You got to quit talking to people now. You got to show them the math. People don't go on the internet and listen to people. They go on the internet and look at stuff. So I'm going to be like, look, here's the deal. Your deal was worth $600K in February. Okay. We should have sold it in February, but we didn't. I don't know if I can mirror this. Let me see if I can mirror it. No, I don't know how to do that. View. Let me see. Okay, so look, here's the deal. You're going to pay $18,000. I'm sorry, you're going to pay $36,000 for broker fees. You need to show him that first so he doesn't bitch about it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not his problem. By the way, that's not the biggest problem he's got. Okay, your fees are nothing compared to his other problems. His payments on this place right now, let's say they're $4,000 a month. It's going to take him at least 300 days to sell this. 10 months. That's $40,000. And a bunch of uncertainty because I don't know what's going to happen. What else is he going to have to pay? You need to fix the kitchen over there. That's $70,000. Okay. I'm telling you, you're not going to sell it with the kitchen looking the way it is. I know you don't want to hear this from me. I can handle all this for you, by the way. I'll fix the kitchen myself. Just listen to me. Hear me out. Okay. What else have we got? What are the fees would I have here?
It's kind of hard to see there, but you think you've got most of them. You got repairs. You've got any, termites,
maybe insurance, maybe HOA, whatever else.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. So now we're at $146,000. So look, $464,000. Okay, I'm going to sell your deal for $464 today, and that's like getting $600,000 a year from now. Same money, man. It is the same exact money. Okay, but this is the way we're going to make it up. Okay, I have a place for you in Rancho Santa Fe. You told me exactly what you want. I have 3 places, and I know we're going to steal them. Okay. Yeah, you took a little hit here. We're gonna make it up on the next house. Okay. It's a $2 million house. We can buy it for $1.4 million. You save $600,000. Wait till this thing goes away. Everybody, just like you, is gonna want to be in a suburban home in Rancho Santa Fe, and you're gonna make yourself $1 million or $2 million over the next 10 years and live where you want to live. But you got to know how to pitch.
That was a great pitch, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
No, I love that. And I do think that that's good. There's going to be a lot of pivoting that needs to happen just like that, like you were saying. So the market takes a crash now. Do you see it being affected more than a year?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, this is going to be it's going to get uglier in February than it is today. So as time goes on, it's going to get uglier.
And then
right now, everybody's hopeful. Okay, you got to get all the hope out of the system.
Okay,
so I'm going back to work. I'm going to bed. The beaches are opened. You know. People worried about $1,000 fines in San Diego for not wearing a mask. I mean, that's your biggest problem right now.
Yeah.
Okay, wait till 4 or 5 million companies go bankrupt in December and January. It takes that long for the system to throw up.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, but that's what's going to happen. You guys need to, like, the only reason you're having fear about it right now is because you haven't accepted it as reality. Fear is an indicator that you haven't accepted that the boogeyman is about to tear your face off.
Wow.
Okay. Once he's tearing your face off, you're no longer scared of it.
Then you're in battle mode.
Huh?
I said, then you go into battle mode.
Yeah. I was 23 years old. A guy came in and took a pistol and hit me in the face. Okay. Once you get hit one time, you don't feel any pain after that. Once the skin is broken and you bleed, there's no pain on the second shot. So the point of that is this: once you get hit and you get the hit, you're not scared of it anymore. Now you're like, okay, I'm getting beat up right now because you're in acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, it's the fear of dying that's probably worse than the actual dying. So the reason I tell everybody that is because, like, look, man, you guys need to accept where you're at right now and not hold on to some fairy tale bullshit hope that everything's going to be fine. It ain't going to be fine. It's going to be different.
So if that's the case and it's going to tighten up and, you know, we got to get ready for battle, what's your advice on how we can continue to advance and conquer during this time?
Number one, get to acceptance. Number two, make a decision. How are you going to survive this? You're going to be bigger or better? You're going to be bigger or smaller on the other side? Okay. Well, you're not going to be the same. It's one of the two. It's not, there's no gray. With me, there's no gray. Be obsessed or be average. You're one of the two. Okay. You either make a sale or they make a sale. So you're either closing a deal or they're closing a deal. Like, to me, it's all black and white. I either got the deal or I didn't get the deal. Like, there's no, oh, I'm working on it. There's no in between for me. Like, the gray is not a good place for me to be in because it's maybe. And the land of maybe is very, very, it's a punishing place. I'd rather go to hell than sit in purgatory and wait it out. Like, let me just get down there and get used to it.
Yeah.
And so what the way out today is to get to acceptance of the new norm. Okay. We are going to sell fewer homes in America. What does that mean now? For every effect, there's a what?
Opposite reaction.
A greater, whatever, right? So the first thing that's going to happen, every real estate agent knows this, every veteran real estate agent knows, first thing that happens is a bunch of people quit being real estate agents. So the weak run. They become baristas, Ubers, masseuses, Amazon workers, or they stay at home. Right. You got 36 million people, man. I guarantee you 15 million people, 15 of the 36 million people that have been let off are crossing their fingers, hoping the Democrats pass an extension on unemployment till January of next year. Because they're like, fuck it, I'm staying home. You're going to have people make more money on unemployment for the next 6 months than they made selling homes.
Yeah, which is
like,
a sad reality, I think.
Well, that is the way of the world, man. And those people become renters, by the way, forever. They'll never buy a home again. Mm-hmm. They won't be qualified to.
I think what you said about we're never going back to normal. You either have the choice to expand or contract right now.
Yeah,
and I definitely love what you said, and it makes perfect sense. And I do agree that I think a lot of the lower producing agents will just be forced out of the business, but that also in itself creates a lot of opportunities for the people that stay around. You can create referral relationships with those people. If they work at a brokerage, you can try to take over their book of business and maybe kick a fee back. So there's lots of ways to take advantage of those scenarios as well. So given the fact that we're going into a new normal.
Hey, none of this is bad news, by the way. Nobody should be like, oh, why is it got so negative? I'm not negative.
All right, so I want to put a nice, pretty positive bow on it then. So where do we go from here to continue to advance?
Well, look. They're sitting about my buddy. What's the guy's name? He does a bunch of real estate training. Tom Ferry. He said, "Man, you're positive. You're a really positive guy." I said, "I ain't positive. There's nothing positive about me, man. Positive ain't going to get you guys anywhere. Positive is not whatever it takes. Okay. I don't need to be positive to be successful. I need to do stuff. I need to call people. A good attitude costs you nothing to have. It'll cost you everything if you don't have it. It'll cost you being happy. But having a good attitude doesn't mean I'm positive. I can have a good attitude. Let's go get them. But that's great. But that's the problem with walking on fire. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I did that. Okay, I could have done a roller coaster. I could have jumped out of a plane. All those things are cool. I could have broke boards. Put arrows against my neck. Whatever little gimmick you want to do. But Monday, you got to make a phone call. Mm-hmm. There's only one thing you have to do. You got to keep a full pipeline. I
love that. I love, number one, accepting the situation. Yep. Number two, getting a full pipeline. Number three, just from a sales perspective, are you changing your message at all when you're calling people, or
yes,
are you changing
100%, 100%.
So what does that look like?
Airbnb guy. I mean, it's very direct. I'm calling because I want to sell your house. Okay. I have some, like these calls are not these. How you doing? Just checking on you after COVID. So concerned about you. You guys talk about so much bullshit. It's like impossible to get to it. Like, what do you want? Hey, big block. This is Grant Cardone with, and the reason I'm calling is I know you got condo 33. You got 5 other units in your building. I guarantee I can sell your property in the next 22 days. 22 days, I don't sell it costs you nothing. I'm going to show it twice. I'm going to sell it once. Okay, when can I come see you? Now, a lot of you won't do that because you're like, I can't promise him that. No, you can't. You can't do it because you can't promise yourself that. And that pitch is not for everybody. So for your listeners right now, they're saying, oh, I couldn't do that. I understand.
Yeah, it is. It's very strong, but I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
Dude, I tell you what, I would respond to it. I'd be like, come on, let's go, man. You got a good pitch here.
Let's get it done. Show it twice. Let's get it done.
I'll show it twice, sell it once.
Sell it once. That's right. All right, cool. Well, I want to shift gears to something. I know that you had the bankruptcy situation, the hoax, and I know you took a lot of heat for that.
I'm losing the plane. My condo down the street, you can probably pick that up for $2 or $3 million today. And if you know a good bankruptcy lawyer that can protect me from going to prison, and particularly because I don't want to be on American Greed.
Because I watched the video and I saw all the hater comments, and I kind of see both sides. I see where you were coming from, that it did seem kind of like a joke, even in the original video. And then I see the kind of haters saying, you have fiduciary duty to your investors and, not good timing and this and that. So I'm just curious, looking back on that, is there anything that you would have done differently looking back on it?
Well, let's explain to your listeners, because that question is just for you, because your listener doesn't even know it happened. Okay, number one, I am not going bankrupt. Okay, so let's just be clear with everybody, because people tend to hear what they want to hear, and they run with whatever they want to hear. You're driving to work one day in San Diego and you see a car wreck. Nobody sees that 36,000 cars made it to work without scratching their cars. They talk all day about the one car wreck. So I mentioned bankruptcy in an Instagram live. Some punk online said, I heard you're going bankrupt. I said, oh yeah, it's true, guys. I'm going bankrupt. Ha, 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 chuckle, chuckle. In fact, I got to sell my plane this weekend. Okay, it's $40 million. I'm going to have to sell it for 6 or 7.
You could probably pick that thing up today for
6.5,
$7 or $8 million.
10 cents on the dollar.
10 cents. And I didn't even say the 10 cents on the dollar. Jared said 10 cents on the dollar. Ha, ha, ha. And he chuckles. Okay. And then in addition to that, by the way, guys, I'm going to have to get rid of the kids. The banks have made it official that I'll have to get rid of the kids and the wife immediately. And the condo is probably worth 8. I'll probably have to give it away for 2 or 3, but it's got to go this weekend. Now, nobody in their right mind would think that that's like, Grant's not kidding. Okay. When Donald Trump was talking about putting disinfectants in the lungs, he wasn't kidding. Okay. I was kidding. And it was obvious that I was kidding because I was laughing while I was doing it. So now you're saying, hey, some people said that I have a fiduciary responsibility. Dude, let me tell you, I got a fiduciary responsibility to who? To my investors, to protect their money. I got people that have invested $10 million with me, $20 million. I owe $1.1 billion to lenders. Okay. My banker called me right after the video. He's like, "You are one funny dude." He's like, "I don't know why you would do that, but you're a funny guy."
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking back, do you think you would still do that again?
I would do it 100%. I would do it again because it was a joke. Why wouldn't I tell a joke?
Yeah. And like I said, honestly, I went back and watched the YouTube video of that Instagram post you did, and it did seem like you were smiling and laughing the majority of the video. And when I was watching, I was like, this is not the demeanor of someone that's going bankrupt.
Dude, if somebody's going bankrupt, do they add, "Hey, I got to get rid of the kids and the wife"?
Right.
Guys, I filed for bankruptcy. And at the end of the video, I'm like, "Hey, by the way, guys, if you know a good bankruptcy attorney, let me know." Well, if I filed already, why would I need an attorney? Now, the point of this noise is the number of people that use that. One of them, some kid that sells real estate, and he uses it to try to build a YouTube following. Grant Cardone going bankrupt. Well, dude, you guys are confused. Like, you're not going to get a real estate listing because you're hating on somebody online that has $2 billion worth of real estate. Like, that's not going to get you a listing. The only thing that's going to get you a listing is calling people. So one, that kid's a loser in real estate. He can never be a real real estate investor or agent. It's impossible, because you can't be successful if you're not doing things that will make you successful. And YouTube is not going to make a real estate agent successful. Listings are going to make you successful. YouTube can help you fill up your pipeline, but nobody's going to look at a hater video on YouTube and say, "I want that guy to be my listing agent. I should call him right now." It's got nothing to do with one another.
Right.
And I'm somebody that knows this because, look, I raised $360 million last year off of social media. I believe in social media, but I use it to drive, first, awareness. Who is this guy? Second, what is he doing? Third, hey man, text 305-407-0276 if you want to invest with me. Okay, that's $1/3 of $1 billion. That's more money that has ever been crowdsourced ever in the United States of America in real estate. So I'm basically providing investors with an opportunity to invest directly with me without going through Fidelity or JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs. I'm bypassing the big lenders and going direct to the public to do so. Okay, I say all that to say this. I have 3,700 people, because you brought it up about the fiduciary responsibility of the investors. I had some investors call up our office. "Fuck, are you filing bankruptcy? Oh my God, dude, am I all right?"
Yeah.
By the way,
that was my next question: is did you lose investors over it?
No, we actually gained investors over, and we had investors that were already invested with us put more money in with us. Because here's the deal: Cardone Capital is so well preserved legally that even if Grant Cardone did go bankrupt, their investments would still be safe. We had a guy call up and said, "I called my attorney and to find out, I don't think you're going bankrupt. You just don't look like the kind of guy that would quit. If you did go bankrupt, what does that mean to my investment?" And his lawyer said, "Look, Grant Cardone can't touch that investment. That's not his investment anymore.
Right.
Those properties, if he went bankrupt, the only thing that's gonna be saved are the properties. It's got nothing to do with Grant Cardone." But anyway, I'm not going bankrupt. Number two, the properties are in perfect condition. Three, we will end up with $3 billion worth of real estate by the end of 2020, not the 1.7 that we have. So I'm adding to my real estate positions.
That's really amazing, and congratulations on that. That actually kind of does parlay into my next question, which is just, where do you see the biggest opportunities in real estate for the next, say, 12 months to 24 months? It sounds like you're going into buyer mode, right? So
100%, man. I'm on the hunt every day. I'm looking at deals. So look, office is going to get killed for a while. For a while, you're going to have a big sponge out on office, and then it's going to spike again. We're not going to be a remote society. I don't care. I bet my plane that we do not become a remote work from home society. So I think the office sponges, meaning it gets weak for maybe a year and a half, and then it's going to go. We could actually have a spike in office because people will need more space. Okay. Number two, retail. Retail is going to get crushed. It was having trouble before this event. Anything that was in trouble before is going to be in more trouble afterwards. Housing, single family homes are going to get hit. So if you were trying to sell a home, I was telling everybody the last 2 years, if you have a home to sell it now, because it's going to get tough to sell later. Now, that being said, if I'm owning a home, if I own a home right now, I'm not going to refinance it right now. I'm going to wait till February next year to get my refinancing. It'll be better then than it will be now. The government will do something to reward people that buy homes. Donald Trump will come out with some kind of tax
incentive or whatever.
He's going to be like, okay, hey, we're going to increase your. You can go up to $3 million on interest on a house from the $750 that it is right now. He's going to do that for restaurants too, by the way. This is the good news. Okay, the good news is the president of the United States is a real estate guy. He hates the IRS. He never pays them, and he is a restructure guy. Okay, so even if you guys, I know you guys down in San Diego hate Donald Trump, but if you're in real estate, you should love him because he will protect real estate. This is what he's going to do for restaurants. I guarantee, I said this maybe 3 weeks ago, he's going to go back to the 100% deduction when you go eat a meal. When I was growing up, I used to be able to write off, I could take you to dinner and write it off. That got phased out over the years. He'll put that back in and restaurants will explode in this country. So retail will get hit, restaurants will come back, bars. I mean, they got to let us hug it out in the bar after I have a couple of tequilas. They can't keep people. I don't want to wear my mask after I'm fucked up, right? And I mean, once you have a couple, you're like, to hell with the mask. In fact, I don't even need a condom now. Let's go. And so what else do we have? We got industrial. It's going to we probably built too much industrial in the country, and residential real estate. Multifamily real estate, apartment buildings are going to be the biggest winner in the group.
Yeah, and I know that is that's your playground, so that's where your bread and butter is. I actually, because of you, invested in a couple apartment buildings myself. I got a couple down in Arizona, and really happy with the way those have turned out. But I'm just curious, why do you think that the multifamily is going to be the biggest winner?
Because in every one of these cycles now, we've made renters. The World War II made renters. The internet boom bust made renters. 2008 made a lot of renters. Millions of people became renters for life. And then we're also moving into an age where people are like, you got, I think, 75 million millennials, 80 million baby boomers, all of them, even the baby boomers. They're like, I don't want to own a home. I want to travel. Now, that might be changed now because of Corona. It might be
how
like,
that all shakes out.
I don't want to travel anymore, and I don't want to go on a cruise. But I even think the cruise liners come back. I think cruise liners will be full in a year and a half because the value's there, man. For $3,000 or $4,000, I can go see the world. Right.
And you can eat 24 hours a day. And
yeah, exactly. And I mean, the value is so great that I think people will be like, no, I'm going to go on a cruise. And if I get sick there, well, that's the way it is.
So you like the multifamily play. And are you doing anything different right now? This is from Brian Rodriguez in the Facebook group, by the way. Shout out to Brian. Are you doing anything different right now to analyze deals?
Sure. So what we do now to analyze the deal is obviously today's values are different than yesterday's, right? So I look at a couple of things. I look at, in my case, I'm buying things based on NOI.
Which is net operating income for those that don't know.
Yeah. So houses are comped. I hate comping real estate. You got to remember, once a piece of real estate sells, like I've always said, real estate agents tell me, well, your house doesn't comp. Dude, those are sold. They're gone. Well, the guy next door just sold for $6 million. Okay, what's that got to do with it? It's gone. Exit off. That's not a comp. That's history. That house cannot be sold again. Okay, for him to sell today, he would have to sell for $6,360,000 just to pay the fees.
To net out. Yeah.
Plus whatever monthly payment he made, okay? Plus he'd have to get rid of his loan, and he just signed a 30-year loan. You just can't walk away from a loan. It's going to cost him something. So that home is probably worth, see how I do math? I do math the other way. It's going to cost you $600. That place that was $6 million that sold next door to me, $6 million plus the 6%, plus another 2% in defeasance fees. So he'd have to get about $800,000 to break even, and he just bought it a week ago. That means my house just went up in value.
Right.
So I'm not going to use the neighbor. And by the way, those people moved in. I brought them some sugar yesterday and a pie. And they told me they're not leaving for 30 years. So it is never going to sell again. The agent needs to understand how to manipulate the reality. And reality is being manipulated every day. Oh, I need a house. I'm going to raise my kids here. Okay, that's a little bit you manipulating yourself. The kids don't need a house. So some people are buying houses before they even have kids. Now that being said, on the apartment building side, I'm taking the NOI plus or minus any changes in the collections, probably minus, plus or minus uncertainty to come up with my new evaluation. But I don't evaluate based on today. I evaluate based on, okay, what's this thing going to be in 10 years?
Yeah.
Because I just want to share this. I have never made money on a piece of real estate that I didn't own.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing I love about
the most money I've ever made, whether it was a house or an apartment building, my biggest scores were on properties that I paid the most money for.
So at the time you felt like you were overpaying, but in the long run it caught up.
100%. If I would overpay, if I would not just overpay for a property, but make sure I'm buying property that other people overpaid for. That old thing about buy low, sell high, that's not where I've made my money. Okay, I have made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate. I paid $8.3 million for a piece of real estate in Los Angeles. Nobody had ever paid that price. I sold it for $19 million.
Wow.
4 times that property had traded, 4 different times while it had been owned. Only 4 times in 25 years. Everybody had owned it 6 years. Every person paid more money than the person before it.
Yeah.
It was always the most expensive property in that neighborhood. Always. It always set the bar. So if you buy something that's garbage, well, guess what? I mean, why did they lose it anyway? So I'm looking for properties today that 1, have great locations. 2, they do well in down times. Okay, 3, they had a track record of holding their value despite the marketplace around them. 4, particularly on apartments, they continued to receive income even despite all the uncertainty. That's that uncertainty factor. Like we have 95% occupied right now and 98% collected, 98.6% collected.
Wow. For
April and May, which are, crazy months.
Yeah. So what I love about your perspective is that you're always in it for the long haul. And it seems like over the long haul, you almost can't lose is basically what I'm hearing.
Not if it's a good location.
Right.
Now, if you buy a bad location in Arizona, you could be there for 20 years without making money. But you probably won't be there 20 years. You'll probably just be bled out through a cycle like this. And so, again, this is why people lose homes, because homes don't have income. When I buy a $300 million or a 300 unit complex that's $92 million, and I buy it from an insurance company, a pension funds don't go out of business.
Right.
I just bought a deal in Naples, Florida for $92 million. I'm probably going to sell it to the guy that I bought it from.
Really?
Yeah.
He wants it back already, huh?
No, I'm just saying when I go to sell it.
Right.
He'll probably be one of the guys I'll buy.
After you turn it around.
And he'll pay me another $30 million to buy it because he knows the property. He knows the location. He knows what was built there. He knows it produces income. Like people the real estate, the kind of real estate that I'm doing, people are not buying it because they love it. They're buying it because it makes money.
Right. They're buying it because it's a business.
It's a business, man.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon to see somebody sell a company to some group. Company goes bankrupt and they go back in and buy it a second time.
Right.
They know the company.
Yeah. Yeah, they can get in there. Looking back over everything that you've done, just back to the Grant Cardone early days, what's one thing that you wish you knew sooner that would have made a big impact on your business?
To go big, man. To go big. I wish somebody would have, rather than me competing with the people in my shop, I wish somebody would have said, bro, you could be the best in the world. I wish somebody would say, look, your target should be to be the best in the world, not the best in your office.
Very true.
So it's the same effort, same energy, just a different paycheck.
Bigger target.
Yeah. And it's easier. It's easier to be successful than it is to just get by.
Love that.
I didn't know that. I thought it was harder. I thought it was like this, this mystery around success. Like I thought it was going to be harder to be successful. It's not. It's harder to just get by.
Yeah. I think that's one of the favorite things I've heard you say is that it's being broke is hard and being successful is hard. You just got to pick your hard.
Yeah, dude, like just getting by is almost impossible. It's like, if you know how to live on nothing, you can definitely, it's definitely easier to live on billions of dollars.
That's true. Very true.
It's hard. It's hard to live on 80 grand, man.
And, in the money raising space, because I know that that's one of your bread and butters is raising money for these big multifamily deals. Are you noticing in the current climate with the whole coronavirus stuff that it's harder to raise money, or you're changing your strategy on that?
It has not been hard. The only thing that keeps us from raising money right now is promotion. If I promote, we raise money. If I don't promote, we don't raise money.
So back to building the audience and building the pipeline.
And not doing stupid videos.
No hater videos.
Well, yeah, like me, if I want to raise money, I need to talk about, hey, I just closed this deal. This is what it's doing. This is how, blah, blah, blah. This is what it's going to return. Invest with me. Cardone Capital, 305-407-0276. I don't need to talk about, I hate the fact that Donald Trump doesn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
And in hopes that I get some YouTube followers. That's got nothing to do with my business.
It's very true. Well, very cool, man. I really appreciate you. I just got two quick questions to wrap it up. This one's from Eric Gilman in the Facebook group. Shout out to Eric. He's with Cutco Knives, and he just wanted to know if you got the Cutco knife that he sent you with Be Obsessed or Be Average engraved on it.
Dude, I did, and I love it, and it's awesome, and I appreciate it so much.
And now you can slice and dice everything you need.
Everything.
All right, cool. And then last question is, if you were coaching my two young sons on how to be successful, what would you tell them?
I would say, look, get the Millionaire booklet. I would tell your kids, follow the money. Don't follow your heart. Don't follow your passion. Don't worry about what you're good at. Follow the money.
Who's got my money?
Who's got my money? Follow the flows, bro. Follow the flows. Don't go be successful at something that's not going to make some money.
Love it. It's great advice.
Now, most I'd love to see what your audience thinks. They're going to be like, that's terrible advice for a kid.
I don't know. I mean, to each their own, I guess.
I know that, look, if you look at Elon Musk, okay, he's looking at things where he's like, I'm going to change the world doing this. And he is following the money because it takes money to change the world.
Yeah. Amen to that. Even Mother Teresa needs money to make a difference.
No, Mother Teresa had plenty of money, dude. She had people that were funding every project she did. Mother Teresa never worried about money.
So go find that money.
Who's got that money?
All right, cool, man. Well, I really appreciate it. For everyone, check out Cardone Capital. I also know you have a real estate webinar coming up, I think. Do you want to let people know how they can access that?
Yeah, if you want to learn how to invest in real estate, I started in San Diego when I was 33 years old. Bought my first apartment deal in San Diego. I have bought over $2.5 billion worth of real estate. We have $1.8 billion under contract right now. I started with no money, by the way. So no money, no credit, didn't know how to get a loan, didn't know what a title was. I didn't know what escrow meant. I knew nothing. I didn't know NOI. If you want to learn it, grantcardone.com/REI, grantcardone.com/REI. It's a free webcast. You'll have access to it for 24 hours. You can watch it live, costs you nothing. And then if you want to keep it, you can buy it later, or you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, highly recommend you guys check that out. Obviously, Grant is a wealth of knowledge, and he's got a ton of free content out there that you can check out to learn more, to grow your business, to advance, conquer, take yourself to the next level. I want to end on a nice, positive, rosy note. What can you give us about the real estate market to get us excited to go back to work?
Look, man, there's plenty of people sitting on the sidelines right now. Go get arrested. Get outside. Go get listings, go make phone calls, go do whatever it takes to make the news. NBC was here at my offices yesterday. Hey, what are you guys doing open already? Because that's what I do. I make the news. I don't watch the news. Fill your pipeline, get in the news, get people to know about you, shake it up out there, make a lot of noise, shake the trees until it drops some coconuts on you.
I love it. I love it. Let's go shake those trees. And thanks a lot, Grant. Really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother. Be great.
Thank you.